Hello, it's Kim Lachelle, and I just want to come and share with you the books that I read in the month of June 2013. I got a total of 4 books read this month. I'm still behind on my Goodreads challenge, but I'm sure I'll make it. I think I put down that I would try to read 30 books this year. So far in 2013, I've read more books than I've read 2012. Let's start off with the first book that I read, Me Before You by JoJo Moyes, and I really did enjoy this book. This book, it just spoke to my heart. You have 2 people from different backgrounds that come together under unusual circumstances. You have a caregiver, Louisa Clark, and you have Will, who is a quadriplegic due to an accident that he had. Will wasn't very happy. He was very sarcastic, he was very mean and hateful, and he was actually being the victim that in life we can sometimes be. And Louisa was, okay, I'm getting paid good money to be here, so I'm just gonna have to deal with this. And it took a while, but he finally came around, and I think what he saw in her is that she hasn't been living her life, and he came into her life for a reason, to broaden her life, and she came into his life to give him the will to live. I enjoyed this book a lot. I really did, and I guess because it took place over in the UK, and then you can hear the accent in the words being spoken, and I just love the way they use vocabulary there, saying lovely and bugger. But I just love those things. I actually gave this book, I believe, 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next book that I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it's by Stephen Chbosky. And this book was so good. I loved every turn of this page of this book, and the reason why I love books written like a diary or a letter. It feels like I'm in there, and especially when they have a conversation on my birthday, that makes it even better. I just loved every character in this book, and when I was reading this book, I was like, who is Charlie writing these letters to? Who is Charlie writing these letters to? So that's what kept me really turning the page, because I wanted to see who was he writing them to, and if it was going to say what this person thought about those letters or give any input. So at the end, when it just ended and we didn't know who he was writing to, the readables, I think she was saying that he was writing to us, and I could see that, but then I also thought maybe he was writing to someone else. So I was kind of confused, but I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed his professor, his teacher, his instructor giving him all the books to read. Every time that he would mention a book, I would go into Amazon and put it in my basket if I hadn't read it. I just enjoyed the relationships that he's built with his friends, Charlie, and I can't think of the girl name, how they helped him grow as a person, helped him to understand his life, gave him a reason to go to school. This book was very deep, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and that's that. Next book I read was A Deeper Love Inside, a Portia Santiago story by Sister Souljah. The book was good. It was a good book. I enjoy it, and I think the reason why I enjoyed it is because Sister Souljah, she always tackles different cultures, and in this culture she tackled the Native American, and I thought it was very good in that aspect. So this story leaves off with Portia at the age of 10, I think 7, and then it really starts taking place at the age of 10. And she's put in a circumstance where she's at a juvenile facility. She has a split personality that she communicates often with. And I really enjoyed the book. However, Sister Souljah seems to have a ton of stories within her that need to be released on different platforms to me. Not only in the whole Coldest Winter Ever, but just a side story. Because I find that when I read a book, I want the book to be realistic. And I find in her books, things aren't realistic. Because what Portia goes through in different circumstances, I just find it not reality that a 10 to 13-year-old could maneuver in the situations that she's put in to be able to come out ahead without adult supervision. If you like urban fiction, I would definitely say give it a try, read it. If you like The Coldest Winter Ever, definitely read the books, because you find out different things about the characters and you get a better grasp. I will say that Sister Souljah has a lot of different areas that she can go on in this series. We need a book on Rick Santiago, the father, information on the mother, the twins. It's just so many different things that she can do with this empire that she's created. And as far as I'm concerned, I will always read the books, because you get a bit, all of it's coming together. It's like a big old puzzle, and all these pieces are coming together, so it keeps it quite interesting. Like The Coldest Winter Ever, you definitely should pick up this book and read. Just realize that it is fiction and it is truly fiction. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was hard to switch gears after reading, I think, Sister Souljah's book, and then deciding what book that I would read next. I thought it was going to be a classic, and I tried, but it just wasn't there. It was very, I couldn't get into a classic. So I ended up, and I wasn't sure if I was going to even finish this book. I will show you. I ended up reading The Silver Lining Playbook by, hopefully you can see this, by Matthew Quick. I was on my way out of town, so I read it on the plane. I read it waiting for the plane. I read it in the car while my friend was driving. I read it while she would go in the store. I would sit there and read. I read it at night. I got up in the morning reading it, and I read it on my way back. Anytime I got the opportunity, I read The Silver Linings Playbook. The book was so good. And I know that Bradley Cooper played the main character, but when I was reading the book, the only person I could see was Adam Sandler playing Patrick. And I actually saw Tiffany being Carmen Diaz. Carmen? That's not her name. Carmen? Is it Carmen Diaz? I enjoyed the book so much, and the relationship development, how Patrick was also reading books, and how he described the books. And I love the relationship that he had with his psychiatrist, his therapist, how his mother was there for him, how everyone was there on his side. And I love in the book the Danny quotes. Those were so funny. They were hilarious. So if you haven't read it, read the book. Don't watch the movie. Read the book. If you saw the movie and you're not interested in the book, read the book. The movie just doesn't give this book any justice. Hopefully I gave you enough information for you to go out and check out some of these books. Hopefully I didn't give you too much information that will spoil the book for you. Hopefully July will be a wonderful reading month for you. If you read any of these books, please comment, tell me what you thought of them. I want to thank everyone who subscribes to my channel. I appreciate you watching, taking the time out, because I know you can always go somewhere else. So if you're listening, I really appreciate you. And as always, just read. Bye.